Hi everybody, my name is Torres from Raine Cosplay. I'm here today to talk to you about my costume plans for Blizzcon 2017 and well, let's get started. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. This year for BlizzCon 2017, I will be making the Diablo 3 Necromancer, specifically the Grace of Inarius armor set. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend well, you're seeing it right now, but if you haven't played it, you should totally do it, because reasons. I have a history with Diablo cosplays. I have been doing them since 2009, and they've all been kind of major, right? Not frequent, but major. So in 2009, I made the Mistress of Pain, which later became Cydia. So if you killed Cydia, you killed my character. Good job. In 2013, I went on to make Izan, the Chaldean noble. Not a lot of people knew who Izan was because he didn't actually make it into the game. But it was a really awesome character to cosplay. He wears some really big shoes. Then this year, here I am with my Necromancer. Now, I've already started the planning process, pattern making, whatnot, etc., etc. But I'm really excited this year because I managed to acquire a 3D printer, which is awesome. And thanks to my friend Colby who recommended it, because I'd done a ton of research but hadn't settled until he showed me what that printer could do. But I acquired this, well, the machine is called the Azortrax M200. If you haven't seen it, it is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. The print quality is just so crisp, so clear. Like, it's just amazing quality. I think my favorite part of this printer though was the ease of use. So the minute it got to the house, I started setting it up, and within the hour I was actually able to print, that's pretty awesome, right? Like, I mean, how many printers can you say that about? I don't think that's many. I think it's very few. Highly recommend it. It's a little expensive, but when you consider the ease of use with the quality of the print, I'd say it's worth it. That's my take on it. That said, I am using it for this costume, but I don't want to make the whole costume 3D printed, right? I want to have some handmade elements of it, or at least a lot more handmade look to it. And saying that, what I mean by that is I want to be using the 3D printed elements as more of a base to build on, right? So with that said, I am currently working on the headdress. I spent the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 now, because it's taken so long to get me this video out. But I started working on the headdress, and so here's what I have so far. The only thing 3D printed here is actually the face of the skull, which comes down a little bit further than this gold piece allows you to see. But you can see the black part over here. This is all 3D printed. Not this, okay? Just this part. I'm not a good 3D modeler, so I'm using as many outside resources as I can to kind of, as a crutch, to get what I need. One of the best resources I found were it's kind of like a share site called Thingiverse. And there's another one called My Mini Factory, which also has an equally amount of amazing models on it for free. But the gentleman who created this mask, he goes by MuseHack, did a really great job. So I printed his skull face as is, and then I built upon it, right? So I used epoxy sculpt to create the bridge and kind of like the furrowed look that you see here, and all these little details as well. I used that, and then for this white part that you see here, that's Warbler. I used the sandwich technique, which I stand by it. It works really well. It's a lot more use of material, but for what I needed, this is perfect. And so going back to the epoxy sculpt, if you haven't used that stuff, guys, I highly recommend it. It's not that expensive. It's a 2-part like putty And then so you mix it together and then, you know, treat it kind of like clay with molding it and stuff, get it to the shape you want. And you can, as soon as it cures, which takes about a day or so, you can sand it to your heart's content, make it nice and sharp lines and like shapes and stuff like that. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Like I said, very inexpensive, and I highly recommend it. There's links for all this stuff in the description below. In addition, I know you might have seen the gold parts over here. I decided to use gold leaf, not real gold leaf, the fake kind. I used that stuff because I actually used paint in the beginning and it just didn't look, it looks very cartoony, so I wasn't really happy with it. As I said, I am using outside sources for most of my 3D work. However, I did figure out how to make some stuff, and so for the headpiece, there's like this like spike crown part, and so that's where these babies come in. They're not completely done yet, and they're looking kind of rough right now, but once they're complete, they will go around and be spiked around the thing. So I modeled these all by myself, and I printed them. They are not the perfect 3D printed item or model, whatever you want to call it, but you know, it's going to serve its purpose, and I'm very happy with them, considering how poor my skills are. For the rest of the costume, or at least the rest of the helmet, let's say, I will be commissioning the actual helmet portion of it. My friend Chris Morgan is actually doing me that favor right now, which I am eternally grateful for. So once I have that part, I can kind of move forward with the rest of the costume, or at least the rest of the headpiece, right? I want to just finish that off first. My friend Rob is working on the knife or the sword portion that looks like it goes through the head. If you look really closely, it looks like it's actually just stabbing through his head, and there's 2 more on his shoulder. I'm really excited for that one too, because once it comes in, I can go in with the details and get really awesome with it. Anyway, so I will be kind of, this is an intro video, right? It's my first one, and I've literally done like 100 takes of this stuff just to get it right without me saying all the time. But I'll be keeping track of all my progress with these cosplays, so if you stick with me, I promise you'll see some really cool stuff, and I cannot wait to show it to you. I will be updating weekly as well. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. All the items that I spoke about during the video can be found in the description below. If you like this video, please do not forget to hit that like button, leave a comment in the section below. And if you want to keep up with all of my costume updates and progress and stuff leading up to Blizzcon 2017, just hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for joining me. This is my first video, so I'm kind of nervous, but I really appreciate you guys' support. Thanks again, and have a great one. See you next time.